Hey everyone, sorry there's not been any videos on the channel lately. My tripod's not been working and it's just about standing still for me to do this video. So ever since Blessing of Divas came out, I've been doing a lot of playtesting with different varieties, from the most expensive deck to one of the cheapest you can make. And this one is a cheaper build and it's called my Liddy deck, as it uses the old Liddy and the new Liddy. So let's get to it. We use Mary Lou as the starter. She does have Harmony, and her Generation Break 1 skill is put her into the soul when you bounce another unit, countercharge 1, and give your Vanguard the skill. If it's in Harmony, you get to give all the front row 3000 power. So she's good for, even if it's your first ride, just getting that extra power up, so adding pressure onto your opponent. The triggers, we run 4 draws, 4 stands. These both go into the soul, which helps in this deck because Liddy soul blasts. But it also helps with adding power with the draw trigger, and the stand adds power as well, as it's Generation Break 1. If this unit's in Harmony, you can put it into the soul, choose a rear guard, give it 2000 power and draw a card. So she's really good for adding rear guard pressure as well and keeping your hand up. Whereas Fundy, being a draw trigger, obviously you get to have those draws, but you can put her onto the field, boost with her one turn if you need to, give her thing Harmony, and then the next turn put her into the soul to create a column that can go into Harmony again and give unit power. So 4 crits and 4 heal. So I've noticed a lot more people start either going rainbow or do add stands into their decks, so this is probably a little bit more normal than expected now, but some Bermuda players will still run 12 crits, but I like running how I like to run in this deck particularly. Most of my decks will run a few stands these days. Grade 1s, we run Aina. She is Generation Break 1. When she goes into Harmony, you can give another unit Harmony. So she's good to use in non-Harmony decks. So I use her in Pacifica because I can give Pacifica Harmony, use the starter's skill, and give my front row Harmony as well. So she is fun in that. Her second skill, which is misprinted, it's not on the Bushy Ready Rata list as I'm doing this video. Hopefully she will be soon. Counterblast 1, rest her. She's not Generation Break, which is really good. And you get to choose all of your units in Harmony that are in the same column and same row as this, whereas in this card it says or, so just be aware of that when you're playing it. It does mean it's actually and, not or, so just be aware. And they get 5000 power, so if she's behind the Vanguard, you get to give 3 units 5000 power, so she's really good. And you can bounce her back and then abuse the effect again, which is, again, really good. So you can give 10,000 power if you have the counterblast to do it. Interesting tech choice for me is for Yuka. If she's in Harmony, all the other cards in the same row gain 1000 power. So she makes cards like Anya and 8k, or if you have the starter, that makes it a 6k, which is really good. Most of the time I'll put her behind the Vanguard so I can have 2 stronger rearguard columns just to abuse the stance a little bit. But I do like her, so that's why I use her. And I use 4 rather than the 3 because 3 Anya works better because the counterblasts, and because she's non-G-break I get to use her early. Another tech choice of mine is Artie, or Alti as she's called, I think. It looks like an R upside down. She gives 2 units 2000 power when she's bounced to your hand from rearguard circle. So this is just to abuse the bounce back effect of Bermuda's for the G Guardian and Liddy's effect. Because she is bounce back, give 2 units. So even though she's a common and she's a 6k, Yuka can make her a 7k nice and easy. But she's just there for the defensive skill. But I do like using her as well, and again she's non-G-break, which helps. And then 4 Harmony Perfect Guards, because we can search these out using Liddy, and you can bounce it back to your hand. So easy to make Harmony columns. Grade 2s, I only run 2 Wonder Frill Nanoka. because she does have to hit, but again, she's non-generation break. She is, when she hits, you can countercharge if she's in harmony and return it to your hand. So she is good, but there's only 2 in the deck because it has to hit. 2 Amelia, just the 2 because the draw power in this isn't too bad actually. It works quite well. And she is a good 9k, but I don't want to draw myself out as well, so. Also, it means we've got room for Vita. Vita is beginning of either player's main phase, which is really good. So after your opponent strides, you can Soul Blast 1, return it to your hand, and call a grade 1 or less to the field. And if you have a grade 4 Vanguard, you can countercharge. So the countercharging works in your turn, so she's good for that reason. But she's also good for kicking off, for example, Loris's GB2, where she's able to give 5,000 power to 2 units. But she works in this liddy build that I've created as well, because it also helps with the counter charge. And she's very good for defense. And I can bounce to my hand to keep up my grade 2 game as well, which is good. And the last grade 2 we use is 3 Rika, because we need to soul charge and unflip all the time in this as well. So the 3 works fine because I don't want to soul charge too much and deck out. Grade 3s, you can probably guess, but the first one is the grade 3 Liddy from the old set. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, when she's placed on the Vanguard circle, check the top 5 for a card with a harmony skill. There's plenty in the deck to be able to hit a target. You hope so, even if you hit the stand, you'll be able to use the stand as guard or abuse it for the draw power and the power. And then her Generation Break 1 skill, which is really good. So if you can't keep striding, you've still got that Generation Break 1, is she gets 5,000 power for each unit in harmony. So even if that's not her herself, you've got your rearguard columns to help with that as well. And then Great Ascent Liddy. I really liked this card from the new set because it's great defensive power, and it's like a Dudley Jessica from the set as well, because she's Generation Break 2, all cards in harmony gain 2,000 power, which is why we use Vita to be able to kick her off. But she can kick the skill off herself, which is Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. When she's being attacked, you can choose a rearguard circle. If there's a rearguard on that circle, you can return it to your hand. If there's not, then you get to call one. And because this isn't once per turn, you can abuse the effect if you've got the Soul and the Counterblast to do it, which is why we use Rika, because we can do it a couple of times then as well. So she's really good for those reasons, and she's great defensively. Even if you're stuck on Generation Break 2, there's enough in this deck to be able to kick the skills off as well and keep that power up. So I really do like using this deck. It's probably been my favourite, whereas my Loris deck has won more. This has been more fun to play. The strides, you can use the strides however you want to. This is just how I do it for the time being. 3 Frederica, which is the new rare stride that came out. I use this over Somni because there's so much harmony stuff in here that I can just pick up a harmony card, put it back down, know it's going to be in harmony again, and give it 5,000 power when the attack hits. And she kicks off Generation Break 2 nice and early. But only the 3, because if I can't get it off once, the first time I stride, then she's just used to flip up in the G zone for Loris. Just the one Alprina, which is Soul Blast 1, return 2 units, just to kick off harmony skills again on the rear guard. So, not much to say about that. 3 Loris, just the 3 because we use the Frederica to flip for Loris' skill, but also because she gives power and she does bounce the units. But if I find I'm not going to get a lot of bounce back effects benefit, then it's not too bad. And also, if I can't get all my things in harmony for some reason or another, or because my field is lacking, 3 works just fine. But she does gain a crit, which I do like, and she does give the extra power, so if the stands are still on my deck, somehow or another, then I'm able to abuse them. For Olivia, because we again want the crits and want the extra attacks this time, So, and this is the reprint version. I have a playset of each now, which is really good. I pulled something like 6 of these all together out of supply sets and boxes. And I pulled one in my sneak peek kit as well, which wasn't great for me, but hey ho, people need her, so she is good trade bait. But at the same time, I'm probably going to need more. We run 3 hand-in-hand Leona for G-Guards. Just the 3 because I do have to bounce cards back. But she works with Alti as well. She can even work with Rika and Amelia. She works with so many different cards that she's fantastic to use. But at the same time, it's going to be conditional in terms of I need to bounce a card to be able to get that extra 5k shield to call it to Guardian Circle. But she does get bounce spec effects off as well and can help kick off Harmony again. 1 screw, just because if you need that little 5k extra shield, no, 10k extra shield, sorry, then you'll find this is just a good one. And your hand stays quite heavy in this anyway as well, so you're never light of cards. So if you need to ditch an extra one, you can do it. And then just 1 Nasha. I do like the Nasha in this as well because it's reveal a card with the same grade, which using the original Liddy, if you've ended up riding her first, depending on the Harmony card you've got, you're going to have a card of the same grade on the field. So she's good just to get that 20k when you don't want to bounce anything or can't. But I only use the one because I've got many Nashas in other decks as well. So, but she is really good. But I would prefer to use more Leona. Again, it's conditional. But anyway, guys, that's it for this deck profile. I should be doing more on my Loris. I'm still fixing my reindeer deck up a little bit because she's great early game, not so great late game. I'm still working on my coral deck just to get the momentum going on that one, which is quite difficult for me at the moment. But I will do a Loris deck profile soon, and I'm hoping to do a couple of games with my Harmony decks as well, because I'm still testing ready for Telford, which I will most likely be using Bermudas. If all else fails and they're not very good, I'll stick to my Power Moon deck. But I'm just loving Bermudas too much, so that's what I'll most likely be using. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me for this deck profile and sharing your interest in my deck with me. I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. Hopefully, maybe Saturday, at a push next Wednesday. I'll see you guys then. Bye!